Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So we've coming to this closing of this session. Remember, practice continues. Your chitta is behind everything. You can't get away from it. You are it. And it's watching, and it's sensing, and it's feeling, and it's responding. That's what happens, isn't it? You know, what we're doing is training ourselves to not be confused about this matter and think it's something out there that we're involved with. No, out there, what's out there is just a presentation, just a set of images and that trigger something that's happening here. You know, that's what we can know. You know, that's what you can do. Looking at direct experience, this is what you can know directly. Now, I can know they can show me photographs of Mars, and I know that I can see photographs of Mars. I don't know Mars. I know that somebody can present me with an image that says that's a photograph of planet Mars. I know that. And I can think, well, good. What's it got to do with me? Why did you spend 15 billion when you could have helped somebody on this planet? Why did you spend so many years working out how to take a photograph of the planet Pluto? Well, you get the amount of energy and effort you could have put into helping people to live more comfortably on this planet. I can know that. I can know the feeling of kind of, wow, what a crazy creature we are, human beings. You know, how wonderful, how amazing, how extraordinary, and just sometimes we miss the point. You know, whether you can go to Mars or not, you're still going to experience aging, sickness, death, separation from the loved. Can you deal with it? Can you manage that? It's nowhere else in the universe. You know? It's outside that truth. Everything in the universe that you're touched by occurs in your chitta, not out there. I'm not saying there's not anything out there, but what you experience is right here. And you're learning to kind of survey that and see where is the excitement or the reaction or whatever that does to. Is there any clarity in that? Any strength in that? Any benefit in that? Any usefulness in that? Holding on to it, does it do me any good? Rejecting it, does it do me any good? Acquiring dispassion, chilling, cooling the sankharas, that does me some good. You know? So we get this model, learning this model, how those little birds that we think is our heart or our mind, you know, and the one you're real to deal with is the one called sankhara, the one that does response and reaction, gets things, everything going, the one that shoots off in this direction and that direction, and wavers and trembles, the one that jumps and squawks, runs around. You know. So that one, you know. So things strike the chitta and it goes, perception, feeling, not me, not mine. And So during this retreat, I've been trying to look at how even this intellectual understanding has to be made real. So in the sutras it says, even though you can intellectually understand, truly understand the Four Noble Truths, it's not actual until you get it in your body. Till something in your body just that sense of stopping. Even though we know this, sometimes it's frustrating to realize you know it and yet you're still getting to those reactions and responses. And this is where we have to be very steady and realize it takes some work, some practice, some cultivation, and it takes time. Yeah. So did you get enlightened on this retreat? Did you get enlightened? Spend 5 days away from home, away from your evening meal, away from your friends, feeling lonely, getting bored, feeling uncomfortable. Did you get enlightened? Oh, it's my fault. Maybe you did, but you didn't know what it was. So we start to even these ideas can cause us suffering, can't they? How long do I get to be stream entrant? Well, until that doubt stops, that worry stops, and many things. And as you go into your customary life, then all those what I do about my father, my tyrannical father, who's pushing me around and demanding this, that, and the other, and never gets me a moment's peace. Yeah. What do I have about my son, who's totally consumed with social media and I can look at that? What about my mother, who's got dementia? What do I do about my job? It's freak. Yeah, I sympathise. It's tough. It's tough. These human predicaments. Mm. So, say, well, my advice is you have to seek your own comfort. That's a responsibility. And there are different kinds of comfort. You say there's the kind of worldly comfort, which is freedom from physical pain. Um, you know, conditions like this, being able to get some rest, get sleep at night, get some rest, have health, and just enjoy it. Remember, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. You don't realize what a privilege it is until it goes. Then you realize, wow, I was so lucky, so fortunate. And what did I do with it? I didn't even notice it. I just spent my time looking at social media and playing video games. Based upon this kind of reasonable comfort, then you say, just let me just not get excited by it, but use it to feel freedom from conflict, freedom from pain, freedom from sickness. Great. Now I can really not have to just limit what I have to deal with and then just use that. Well, the energy is there. Well, the occasion is there. But I'm not in jail. I'm not being chased or bothered. Into the really higher comfort, which is my mind is steady. I can feel loving kindness. I can take the time to absorb into those qualities, make them really fully felt. This is, whenever we have those occasions. But of course, you must be quite disciplined in that because you cannot make the world a comfortable place. You have to find some retreat or hour of a day or kalyanamitta, people you feel comfortable with, who support and encourage you. You have to find that. That's one of your duties. Because otherwise, you're not going to be any good to anybody if you don't get those. Yeah, not for your own welfare, nor for anybody's welfare. If you don't get those supports, of your own, and say, look, in keeping and you build it up by recollecting your precepts and really taking them seriously and feeling the sense of the noble comfort, which is a parami. Yes, this, when I return to this, I feel clear, I feel straight. When I turn to this, I feel steady, and these other things fade into the background. They quieten down because you've got the noble comfort. This is how we practice. Practice renunciation, not to make yourself miserable or to be some kind of strange ascetic standard, but just to make life more comfortable, not to have too much to deal with, and to also not have so many ways in which your citta can run out. Run out of what? Run out of restraint, run out of composure, run out from it being with itself into getting absorbed into this and that and this and that, fiddling with this, tidying that, buying one of these, fixing one of those, caring for somebody else's, waste your time on things you don't really need. And as you get that sense and you quite enjoy that sense of care and applying your wisdom and the kind of clarity and the bits more time and space you gather with that, this is a good thing. I'm pleased with this. I'm pleased with this. Put things aside. And then we have models. So, of course, some of these great forest teachers, they're just way. But they say it's still got human bodies. What can be done? What people can do. And recently, they were commemorating this Luangpor Sucitto, who was one of Ajahn Chah's teachers, who was not well known, a very quiet monk. But he walked from Thailand to India barefoot. No, not barefoot, but a little pair of very thin flip-flops, or maybe barefoot also. Spent 12 years in India and then walked back again. So, no visa, no sat nav, no GPS, no Amazon service station stop. Just head for the setting sun and keep going. Over the mountains, over the rivers, through the jungles, just with a trot, And then so I went to his monastery, the little place where they keep all his possessions. So it's called a pitapa in Thai. It's like a kind of museum. And you go into this place, not very big, and it's his bowl. And there's this kind of heap of old rags. Oh, that's his cloth, that's his robes. And there's a sitting cloth, which is, I think, kind of leather or something. Stick. Log. That's it. And a pair of flip-flops, it looked like bubble gum. They were so, with a bit of string stuck through them. Right. Very quiet monk, very peaceful monk. Not hard, not bitter, not savage, just quiet, peaceful monk. And wow. You think this is, I'm not doing that. I haven't got there, but just to acknowledge, you see that, and something in you shines, and oh, this is beautiful, this is noble, and I can do my bit, you know, and so you can fall into line with that. And so even if you don't really meet these people, in a way, you can have them in your mind as Kalyanamitta, you know. So what's and of course, you have physical friends, you know, so very important when you come on retreat to see these are your Kalyanamitta right now. They are maybe not talking, but they're offering solidarity, and their bodies hurt too, you know, just like yours, and they're bearing with it, you know, and things aren't so convenient for them. They're bearing with it, and they get up early, and when it's cold, they come here, yeah, and they don't like it all the time, but they're doing it. So you think, yeah, together we're much stronger. You know? And this again is just the fundamental feature of the citta. It doesn't belong inside this. You know? We can look at it through this, but actually it's much bigger than this. This is why when you try to put the citta into a me bag, it's much too tight. Much too tight. So you've got to do dharma, you've got to do friendship, just because otherwise it's just too uncomfortable in there. So it's how beautiful to have the opportunity to do so. Beautiful to have the opportunity to see something you can care for, somebody you can help. It's a beautiful opportunity. Mm. Patience. So I was on Tudong. This is back in 1986. Since 30 years ago. Wow. So, yeah, we had this, you know what a grot is, if you don't know that, it's like an umbrella about this wide. And the idea is you carry this thing, and when at night time you hang it on a hook, and you can get underneath it, and it's got a mosquito net. So you can kind of get underneath it to get some sleep, get some rest. Of course, if you've got a long body like this, it doesn't fit. So your kind of legs are sticking out. Maybe you kind of curl up, you know, underneath it. So you get under this thing, a little plastic sheet underneath, kind of lie down. And this time the wind was blowing, so the wind was blowing, so the umbrella was going like that in the wind. Then the rain came. So the rain came in, you know, because it's when the umbrella's been blown like that, the rain just floods in. So, you know, and back's getting wet, feet are wet, cold, feet are wet, arms are wet. Then there's a little bit here still warm. Then gradually they get smaller. And then eventually that's gone. And you're holding on to a little bit of warmth and it's gone. Wet, cold, shaky, body shuddering, you know. And then at that point, then you've stopped hanging on to this little bit of warmth. And your body's just like a kind of wet dog. And then the water's made all the earth soft, so the plastic sheet begins to disappear under the mud. And you know, all you can do is just kanti. There's nothing else, just kanti. And when you do that, you think, oh, this is God, remember, you know, something like that little thing, and kanti, not just the word anymore. It's a place that citta, the only place that citta can go to. And it goes there, and you just watch this body going, Yeah. And then eventually the morning comes, rain stops, you drag yourself out. Get some sunshine, hang the robes out and stand like some wet bird in the sun, drying his wings. And, oh, so happy, so happy. So we see that then, that's what it comes down to. Then some things some things you can do, you can change, you can help. Some things you just, eventually feeling pain will come for you. This you can be assured. And you can, one day death will come for you. You can be sure of that. And there'll be a struggle. You can be sure of that. But if you develop these parami and use them to open the door for the chitta, you go in there. You go in there. You go in there. And this has to do what it has to do. You go in there. Then you've got a place where the suffering stops. So just remember this. Dukkha is two kinds. It's the dukkha, which is just conditioned existence, is fragile. The planet itself, this great Earth we live on, will one day be completely consumed by the sun, burnt up, crisp. Yes. This body, breakdown. This is known. Pleasant feelings flitter through like butterflies, and you, God, this is true. Painful feeling, wherever you run, it finds you. Physical feeling, mental feeling, just look around and think, sad, really despondent, how violence and wickedness in the world makes me feel really miserable. It will come for you. This is, the dukkha, sabhava dukkha. So then the Buddha says this, but there's also sankhara dukkha. The sankhara dukkha is the dukkha that ajitas unconsciously create to try to get away from the other ones. That is, we create holding on. We create, unwholesome tendencies like fighting to get rid of something, grabbing hold of something to acquire things. And we create sankhara dukkha over grief and worrying and agitation and bitterness and despair. So this you can stop. So it's in some ways, it seems as a very kind of modest teaching. And yes, please do what you can to make conditioned life as good as you possibly can, because that's a noble gesture, that's a compassionate, careful gesture. So the people who come after me are not living in a desert. I would restrain my appetites so I don't consume the earth, so that the people who come after me will have some place to live. If we don't restrain our appetite, there won't be a comfortable place for people in the future to live. If we don't stop producing so much junk and pollution, there won't be a comfortable breath of air for people to take. Some cities right now on this planet, you can't breathe the air, it's poisonous. There's millions of people living there. And what's that because of? The earth didn't do it. Humans did it. We made it like that. Yeah. And is it so difficult? And then you think, well, I can't do much. You can do one bit. You can do one bit. You do that. Because that's your gesture. And then you realize you've acted nobly. Well, then we have to recognize, these Four Noble Truths, what the Buddha offered us, this opportunity. Maybe it's a slender opportunity, but it is a valid one. There is the way out of sankharas dukkha, generating it, being trapped in it, craving, holding on, and developing this me thing, which is so obsessive and demanding, you know, and greedy, you know. Mhm. And then you begin, as you practice, you begin to really get a sense of this. And the noble comfort is to be able to stand apart from that. Yeah, this me thing, I just use it for special occasions only. I tied it up when I go visit my father, my friends. I tidy up my me bag. I put it on. Oh, I'm me. But then when I get home again, get out. And let get out of it. Put it down. Don't be anybody. Just contemplate the aggregates. This is feeling. This is perception. Mm. Mm. So this is my encouragement for you. And if you make these when you've done the retreat and you realize that the power of resolution, retreat's about resolution. You make this, yes, stay with this, stay with this, stay with this, make that resolution. This is what you've learned, this is what you've done. You can do this. You can do resolution. So you resolve the precepts, resolve. Even if my mind is uncomfortable, I'll at least spend time every day just facing it and working with it and bringing it into my body and calming it and comforting it and steadying it and restraining it. I will do that exercise just like I will spend time washing my body every day. Sometime I will spend washing my citta, because this citta is going to live and this body isn't. And this body can't do anything like the harm that your citta can do if it's not trained. Your citta can really do big damage. So I take that on. You make that resolution. Yeah. And however meditation system works for you, you do that. But I'd recommend don't get too complicated about it. Try to keep it simple, steady, manageable, something you feel you could do every day. Give you some happiness and some calm, so it's a little sweet every day, not just grinding hard work. A little sweet every day, and this is going to do you. This is going to be my welfare. And acts of kindness every day to anything. Can't find a human being, look after an animal. Can't find an animal, look after a tree. So animal dinner, and again, enormous appreciation for setting this up. So I mean, I just carry this around, and then these wonderful people start organizing things around me, and it's really amazing. It wouldn't happen without them. Absolutely would not happen. No way. Could not happen without them. So, I get to sit in the light, but remember there's a lot of stuff going on that made this possible. And so deep appreciation. So was Ajahn Viradhammo, my good friend, Luangpor Viradhammo, again, this is how it works, isn't it? I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. I have very good friends. When I was in Canada last year, he said, oh, this is the angel group. Angel group? Oh yeah, I can see these little wings. Yes, and they're fluttering. Oh, that's right. I think so then Nugget and Terry, who I've known for many years, has definitely got some wings. Oh, okay. These look like people you can trust. They'll look after you. Don't worry. Just I found out their angel wings. They've got eagle eyes. Eagle eyes. The details. They say, here's some things I can do. Here's something I can give. Here's a burden I can take away. Here's an offering I can make. It's got eagle eyes. So eagle angels. So very beautiful. And yeah, I think the technicians and people who did all the cooking and the cleaning and organizing the Zoom and attendance and the more dinner. We really need to just express our gratitude. It would not be here. And we probably all made work for them. So we all thought, I want this, I want that, I don't want it. And just it's all work. And then can we make it nice? And if I've been a bit difficult, didn't miss the point, forgot the instructions, went at the wrong time to the wrong place. Sorry, I ask forgiveness. Mm, mm. So that's the Ovada.